The government has released a huge report on the impact of climate change, and the findings are dire, not just for our health and our environment, the way you'd expect it to be, but also for the economy. The scientific report warns that the damage from climate change will reduce the size of the American economy by 10% by the end of the century. Annual losses, this is a quote, annual losses in some economic sectors are projected to reach hundreds of billions of dollars by the end of the century, more than the current gross domestic product of many U.S. states. I'm joined by NBC's Tom Costello. I know, Tom, that you haven't had a chance to read through 1,600 pages of the report, but what stands out to you as you start to go through it?
This was all compiled by 13 federal agencies. It's required by law, so it's not like the Trump administration ordered this up. They are by law required to produce this every 4 years. They say that there is clear and compelling evidence that the temperature is rising fast and that humans are responsible for it. The real-time evidence that the scientists point to include the devastating fires in California and the Smoky Mountains, the horrific hurricanes and tsunamis we've seen. Scientists are pointing to more frequent and intense extreme weather that will, they say, damage the health of the environment, human health, and the infrastructure. Agricultural productivity and fisheries could be hit very, very hard. They argue this is primarily a man-made catastrophe caused by greenhouse gases, rising oceans, melting ice, erosion, all of the effects. And they expect cold weather-related deaths to decrease, heat-related deaths to increase, everything from drought to insect-causing diseases like Lyme disease, Zika, West Nile, all of that laid out. But I would make this point. I know you want to go there. This report really contradicts President Trump's belief on global climate change. He has argued that it's a hoax.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
He's argued it's a hoax. He's called for more coal and oil and gas production. These scientists say it is clear and compelling evidence that this is a real emergency.
Yeah, I don't get into the politics of whether people call it climate change or global warming. The reason climate change is clear is because Donald Trump tweeted the other day about global warming. It's really cold weather. He said brutal and extended cold blast could shatter all records. Whatever happened to global warming? The danger, of course, is when the President of the United States says that, people start to believe that if it's not just hot, then there's no global warming. Global warming gives us extremes on all sides and, as you said, health effects.
Voila, that's exactly the point I was going to make. I've talked to scientists about this for 20 years, and I'd say, how could we have such a cold, specific period of weeks in December? And they will make the point, we generally don't call it global warming as much as we call it climate change, because, yes, there is that cumulative effect of global warming, but climate change affects all of us in so many different ways in terms of the ferociousness of the storms rolling out of the Pacific and what we've seen in the Gulf of Mexico. All of that has real dire consequences for the overall environmental health of the country and the world. And when they're talking about the U.S. having to take a 10% economic hit because of the impact on climate change, that becomes very significant.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.